every project that I get involved in is typically has things about it that are quite unique. So one of the first things is to be very sensitive and understand that you're part of a collaboration, that you're part of a team, and that it's not about you, it's not even about your music. I mean, the music has to be terrific and it has to stand up as music. But the process of writing a score is first to try to really suss out what the creator's vision is, what the creative vision of the film is, and then figure out the most creative and personal way to achieve what it is that they hoped you would do. So in a way, your job is to surprise them by giving them exactly what they want. Does that make sense? So typically I get hired because somebody's heard something of mine and they like it, or I may be asked to be one of a small number of people to submit some pieces, some pieces of mine. And if they hear it, then I get called in for a meeting. A meeting is a chance not only for them to get to know me, but for me to get to know them. And it's important to have it kind of work both ways. Then once I've begun a project, it typically begins with getting to know the director a lot better, really understanding what they want the film to feel like to the audience. You know, a character may seem like an evil guy to me, but might be very ambiguous to the director. And the director may say, no, 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 don't go evil. Let the audience wonder for a while. He doesn't get evil till about, 15 minutes into the film. Then you can go ahead and let the audience know this guy's evil. But, it's things like that. So then once everybody kind of has a sense of what's going on, the next step is usually something called spotting. And that's where the director and I, and often a music editor, and sometimes there's somebody called a music supervisor who's in charge of looking into the use of songs and additional material in addition to score. And so there's always a need to coordinate, which scenes are going to have songs, which scenes are going to have scores. So there's somebody named a music supervisor. Anyway, some group of people sit down to decide where the music will go, what the nature of that music will be, and we make a list called a cue list of each of the cues. So a feature film may have anywhere between 45 and 75 minutes of music, broken down into pieces that could be as little as 10 seconds or as long as 15 minutes. And before I sit down to actually write the music, what I like to do is, before I put the picture up on my screen, is to sit down and just think out loud. I'll usually write a little suite of ideas with only the vaguest idea that, this might be the hero's theme, and this could be the love theme, and this is the villain theme, and this is the action theme. So I'll just write some pieces and make them a kind of an interesting, like, little 5-minute suite. And then I'll bring it to the director, or have the director come and just say, hey, what do you think? I have some ideas. They're not to picture, they're just ideas. And depending on how they respond, if they like it, and they go, oh, that would be great here, and this would be great there, I'm off and running. Or I maybe trash that and try it again. So we spot the film, we develop the list of pieces. I write some pieces not to picture. Once I feel that I have developed the language, the vernacular of this film, thematically, stylistically, is it jazzy, is it tribal, is it high-tech, is it orchestral, is it crunchy guitars? Then I pick a scene in the movie, usually pick the one I want to score the least, and I score it first. Each director has a whole unique approach to the way they think about music. Some directors don't really want a lot of music. They want the music to remain somewhat neutral. Some directors want the music to be an absolute character in the film. Some films are very music-driven, action and thrillers and things like that can have, a nearly wall-to-wall score. So, yeah, different directors have a very different view of the process and the product. When you work in television, you work exclusively with producers. In film, it usually is the director with the producer there just to be a second opinion. Usually, sometimes there are there's some producers, there's certain types of producers who insist on having a more active hand. But typically on a film, the director gets to call the shots, gets to kind of lay out the roadmap and then decide what is or isn't working.